Well, thank you for the chance to speak. It's a very important year, and I'm very pleased to be here. We're in the middle of a climate crisis. We are seeing the impacts of climate change, the droughts, the storms that are hitting people around the world. And this year, UAE has offered to host the meeting that is the meeting of all meetings, the COP28 as it's known, where all countries will come together to talk about what we're going to be doing about it. And I wanted to come, my first trip, international trip outside of Europe is here to Abu Dhabi to learn about what the presidency is looking to do and to see how Germany can be supported. Well, I think the European Union has had ambitious climate change targets and renewable energy targets for many years, and so you see a set of policies that have been put in place. But just in the last year, the Fit for 55 package, which is a set of laws around renewable energy, around emissions trading, have all been adopted across the whole EU, and that has caused, I think, a greater speed into the green energy. In addition, because of the Russian war of aggression against the Ukraine, the European Union has moved to replace and phase out Russian fossil fuels, and therefore also has increased the renewable energy targets and has sped things up. I think that's a key thing. What we've learned is that through the right sets of tools and legislation, we can get wind turbines built in 2 years instead of 7 years. So it's connected. I think we learned the hard way that we really shouldn't be dependent on fossil fuels from Russia, and we've learned that actually being dependent on fossil fuels as a whole is something that we need to phase out for our own energy security and for our climate security, and that's what the European Union is doing. I mean, I think we're far from maintaining the 1.5 degree limit rise of temperature. Right now, if every country were to implement what they've promised, we would be at something like 2.7 to 2.8 degrees rise of temperature, and that is a disaster. That means hundreds of millions of lives. And so this year is a special year because we have to pull that gap down. And one of the key measures through the COP is this global stock take. It's the moment in the Paris Agreement where all countries have to say, how are we doing? And do we need to do more? And so this year at the COP, that'll be a big topic to say, how do we close that gap so that we can keep that 1.5 degree target within reach? I mean, I think my predictions are we're seeing really, I think the International Energy Agency just found that in 3 years, renewable energy are going to be the predominant energy source in the electricity sector. I think we are seeing these large projects also here in UAE that will drive that in an exponential way. We're looking at completely electrified mobility. We're looking at the phasing out of fossil fuels in a way that brings benefits. I think that's the key that is there, and that's what our experience is in Germany. We're doing this because we understand the climate crisis, but we also understand that our companies want to lead this evolution, or maybe I even say revolution, forward to have prosperity and well-being. And I think that connects us also with many of the people I've met today in UAE who also, they think big and they move quickly. And so my prediction would be it's going to move fast, but it requires leadership and requires clarity, and that's what we're here to hopefully be providing at the scale required. Well, I think, I hope that COP28, I feel a good sense of momentum here, and a very clear sense of the seriousness in which the presidency is, and the president himself, incoming president, are taking this issue. So I'm hopeful.